you know, whether it be in music, you know, in hip hop or whatever, or at your local party, but it was somewhat of a novelty. Now you're legit. Tell us what it was like. When did you kind of say, you know what, I'm as good as the guys, I'm getting in this game? Because it was a very male-dominated type of profession.
Still is.
Yeah.
So I started at 12.
Okay.
I got my first set at 12. My dad gave me my first turntables.
Yeah.
And I was doing parties. I went to Edison Middle School. Shout out to the Gary schools. And I was doing little parties around the way. And
Right.
I didn't have a name or anything. Got to high school, kind of, you know, got into cheerleading, student government, went to college, got married, career, and stopped. And went to my sorority convention.
Yeah.
I'm a Delta.
Okay.
I'm a Theta.
All right.
Absolutely. So
they're welcome here.
yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're welcome everywhere.
Yeah.
Shouts out to all my Delta sorors.
Yeah.
And we had hired a DJ, and she wasn't transgenerational.
Oh, now what's transgenerational?
She wasn't playing for the entire audience.
Okay.
As you know, we have Deltas that range from 88 to 108.
Right, right.
So she only had music for her generation, which was the early 20s.
Yeah.
And I actually had to play some stuff from my phone for her. And when I saw her, I'm like, I can do that. You know, like I can do what she's doing. Right. And I, you know, kind of thought about it a little bit more, talked to some of my DJ friends, kind of sat with them for a little bit. And in 2019, my husband bought me another board for Christmas. Yeah. And I did a function for the Deltas in January. Right. And it just took off from there. It was a hobby. Right. It started off as a hobby. Right. Then, bam, we went into COVID. Yeah. And it gave me a chance.
I knew COVID was involved.
It gave me a chance to really practice and grow my audience.
Yeah.
And I started getting on Facebook Live. They started shutting everything down, and I switched to Twitch. Yeah. And my audience just kind of took off.
Yeah, Twitch is the spot for that. Now, let's go back because, you know, you were obviously the product of a DJ. I mean, your dad, like I said, it's really ingrained in your DNA. And so, as you talked about going through the normal flow of things, you're in high school, you're at Edison, you go to high school, you go off to college. Were you DJing at all during that time, or had you just kind of put it aside?
I was a DJ. At every event, I didn't play cards.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that, but I always was in charge of the music.
Right.
At church events,
yeah,
sorority events, family reunions, I was always in charge.
You was always the one in music.
Always. So I've always been a DJ.
Yeah, but at that point in time, like I said, even as college, when you're out there moving in your sorority parties and all that, you never thought of, did you ever do it for money? Did you ever?
I never dreamed that I would be doing something that I love.
Yeah, really? You never thought about it?
Never thought about it.
Yeah.
Just never thought about it.
And so obviously, like you said, you're married, you guys going through life. What were you doing, you know, as far as your career? After you left college, what did you do? What did you get into?
I worked in outpatient mental health. Okay. For over 20 years at Edgewater here in Gary.
Right.
Well, it used to be Gary Mental Health.
Right.
And now I'm an adjunct professor for the state of Indiana for Ivy Tech College.
Oh my goodness! Look at you. Do your students know that you do the ones and twos?
They do. Okay. They do now. Yeah. I have that in my syllabus.
We're talking with T&T Spinsations, correct?
And DJ
and DJ and of course, listening to this amazing, wonderful story. So, as you talked about, and as many people that have come through this show, and like I was just telling the previous guest, I always say this because we want to be very clear. Pandemic was bad, but the one thing, no, this is what I say though, is because one of the things that I've always tried to kind of emphasize is that the pandemic gave a lot of people, and I got to really give credit where credit is due, a lot of women, but people in general who had the opportunity to slow down, look across the kitchen table at their spouse, significant other, maybe another family member, and say, you know what? I'm going to take this moment. I didn't impose a shutdown. I didn't make the world stop, but I'm going to do something different on the other side of this thing. And
we had to pivot.
Had to pivot. And a lot of families were, you know, after maybe that second, third, even fourth or fifth month, when you're looking at that savings and you and your family are going into those savings, you start getting creative and start to figure out what it is you like to do and what you want to do. And there are so many great people that have used that opportunity to come out and really are living the dream on the other side of things. I always though like to point out pandemic bad, But, you know, there was a silver lining. And so...
Yeah, a lot of businesses came
Oh, absolutely.
Lots of shouts out to all the business owners. And
yeah.
Shouts out to Tasha Norris. That was one of my little sisters.
Oh, yeah?
Westside.
Yeah.
Yep, shouts out to Westside.
That's what I'm saying.
Seawit.
Yeah.
Yep, all of us were at Westside together.
Nice, nice. And so you, obviously, in the pandemic, like everybody else, do you remember the moment where you said, you know what, I'm kind of going to do this? Because as you said, you would always like the bootleg DJ, but it's a whole nother thing now that people gotta hire you.
I started getting calls for Zoom parties, and I'm like, people gonna pay for this? You know?
No, because I do remember that there were people who were out here throwing just to keep everybody's spirits up. Nobody could be around everybody, and we were literally having Zoom parties.
Yes, and watching D-Nice.
Yeah,
he made it. He made it culpable for us to really be able to see something different.
Right.
You know, where we could come into your home and play what you like.
Right.
And it gave DJs a sense of freedom. And I hear a lot of my colleagues talk about that with Twitch.
Right.
It gave us such a freedom because we didn't have the person saying, can you play this? Can you play that?
Yeah.
It was just open format. This is what my show is going to be about. This is what I'm playing.
Right.
And it got so good. I mean, even now I'm in tune to DJing with my bare feet.
Oh my God.
So if you see me with my shoes off, I am in my groove.
Okay. Because, you know, like I'm a gamer, and I'll also kind of have a couple of shows that I watch that are broadcast through Twitch. But I had just recently, and this was by accident, stumbled across somebody I guess was attempting to do what you and a couple other people had done. Because Twitch, you don't think of Twitch as a DJ platform. It's more about gamers and weird stuff going on.
Well, I'm gonna take that back. I had heard of Twitch, but not for music.
Right.
And there were cooking shows. There were people doing horticulture. It was a beautiful time. It really was.
Right.
So people pivoted and they were doing different things and they were generating income from Twitch.
Now tell us a little bit about your style. You know, let's get into some of your style.
An old school girl across all genres.
Okay.
I love old school.
Yeah. Now what is your definition of old school? Because millennials might think
when you put the needle on it, it got a little funk and it got a little scratch.
Yeah.
A little crackle on it.
Right. Like in particular era or what have you.
Particular era, I really love 80s and 90s hip hop.
Okay.
House music.
Yeah.
I like blues. I listen to gospel.
Right.
I love 80s and 90s gospel. 90s gospel.
Kirk Franklin and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love it. So I'm really an open format DJ. I love disco. I love funk.
Right.
I love it all.
Right.
I love soft rock.
Yeah.
I listen to top 40.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah.
I'm not conformed to one genre, but if I had to, my favorite is definitely gonna be hip hop and house.
And from the 80s and the 90s, good period of time. I'm getting
into Afro house now.
Oh yeah. What's Afro house?
It's beats from the motherland.
Oh yeah, you're coming from
house music and beats from the motherland. So Black Coffee and DJs. I'm learning more about that genre, and I love it so far.
Oh, okay, you're so like stuff coming out of Nigeria and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you this. You know, obviously we started off and we were talking about the fact that typically, when you think of DJs, I would be honest, not so much anymore. I think we're now it's as normal as anything to see a female DJ in a party as a god.
I still get some.
Yeah, but what was it like? I mean, has it changed? Have you gone into places where there have been multiple DJs, or do you move around in certain circles? Have you expanded in Chicago and people are like, where you kind of see it? So tell me what's going on with that.
I am expanding. I've been invited to come out with a couple of my female DJ colleagues. They want me to come out, but I prefer to sit and study craft and kind of move into it slowly, but I'm being pushed and prodded and pulled a little bit, so you might see me on the house circuit.
Now, once again, as we were talking about your style, like, you talk about the 80s and 90s, and I would argue that that was probably, in my lifetime, the 80s was the heyday. And then the beginning of the 90s of the DJ. I mean, now a lot of things are electronic, but you literally used to see the DJs who were going out here and doing these parties. They were working. I'm talking about, as you probably know, obviously with your father. I mean, they would have multiple things going on at once. And I mean, they were concentrating. They were going in the crate. They were actually flipping records. They knew where their breaks were going to be and things like that. Is it still as technical like it used to be? Is it technical like that now because of technology?
There are some DJs that still use vinyl.
Yeah.
Or a lot of DJs are going back to vinyl.
Right.
Going back to that original art form. So, I mean, a lot of people, you'll get some DJs that say, it's cheating because of the technology, but you still have to know the craft.
Right.
And it's not as easy as it seems. I would invite anybody to come sit with me sometimes. It's not as easy as it seems. So, I used to be really hard on DJs about their transitions, but I'm not so much now.
Right. Do you sit and script your sets like?
Absolutely.
Okay, now what is the length? How many songs deep do you go into or does it depend on how long you're there?
It depends on how long I'm there and if I'm curating a playlist with a client.
Right.
So I mostly do private events. So it depends on what's going on. If it's a wedding,
right.
I mean, it's kind of the same setup, for African American wedding receptions. We want the same stuff. We want a wobble. We want to do the Cupid slide. We want to get Mays, a little Ashley Brothers. Right. Depending on the age, and then we might be able to get into something a little bit more.
Right. So how intense does that go? Because that just seems like when you're out here scripting, and obviously you love what you're doing, so this is probably a little fun for you, but it's also you're a professional. So when you're scripting and putting this together, about how long does that take? I can just see it multiple hours. I can see it actually going up to 5 hours.
It's longer than that sometimes.
Yeah.
I was up last night, probably till about 4:30.
Wow.
Yeah, just getting my playlist together, and I get lost because I love it.
Right.
So I'm gonna leave here, go get some breakfast. I got my laptop, and I'll be.
So do you go to your program? Do you sequence the music so you're inputting it? You're putting in like
I am, and I'm anal, so I'm very anal about the way I put in crates. But to what you were saying before, you have to be able to read the crowd.
Right.
So even though a lot of times, people will give me these long lists, and I'll look at them and I'm like, I'm gonna put this together. And I'll probably give you a little jump drive of these memory songs that you want later. Right. But they probably won't fly. They probably won't fly because you got 75 slow songs. Nobody wants to hear all that.
Right. This ain't the prom.
Party.
Right.
So you have to be able to pivot again.
Right.
And read the crowd. So you may have grandma in there. You can't play Nicki Minaj and Megan while the pastor and grandma's there. Yeah. And I always have to have my clean playlist. I have to have my clean playlist.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you about what I've always been told, and I just feel for you all who are DJs because you all have to deal with this. What do you do when you're out here and you're doing your set and kind of going through all the work, and then you have to deal with the annoying people who come up and make requests? They're just the worst. They're the worst.
My west side of Indiana comes out real quick. I have a little tip jar, and I don't mind getting on the mic and telling people. Yeah. And then I don't mind requests.
No, I know.
But don't come up to me. This is the worst thing. Don't come. We're not the jukebox.
Thank you.
It's not your party sometimes.
Right.
So, just Saturday, I was doing a party for a young lady turned 65. And the vibe was very, very high. Yeah. And a lady came up, well, can you play some Anita Baker? And I'm like, that's going to turn the whole vibe of this party. Right. But I played it, and then they sat there, and I got on the mic, and I said, I know you're not going to sit there after you requested Anita Baker.
Right.
So
you reprimanded.
Do us a favor and get up and dance on the songs that you requested.
See, that was that professor coming out of you. You just reprimanded them. You came up here and asked for Anita Baker. I know you're not saying that.
Most people come up with $1 or like a guy, he was like, I asked you to play Warren G regulators 50 times. I said, I'm getting to it because we play in BPM.
Yeah.
And we playing towards the energy of the crowd. He tipped $25.
Yeah,
so
he gets what he wants.
I slid that loose on him.
Oh my goodness, I love this stuff. I love it. You know, and let's get into the other part of your business though, because I could talk music with you all the time. But you also have this photography situation
that came from the music.
No, I know, because I've seen this phenomenon. That's why I thought, you know, where it's this 360 stuff going on and all this. It's kind of amazing. I mean, where somebody introduced this technology that comes up at parties. So tell me about that and the service that you offer.
So we offer 360 spin.
Yeah.
We have a large and small booth. We offer regular social media photo booth where you can just stand in front of the photo booth.
Right.
And we offer roamer services. So that business came about because my sister is my roadie. Shouts out to my sister Tammy.
Yeah.
And she was carrying my things because I had hip surgery and I wasn't supposed to be DJing.
Right.
And she was carrying my things
right.
for me. And we did a party and someone had a 360. So I could see all this commotion going on across the room for me. And she was like, you got to come see this. You got to come see it. We need to get this. This could be added to your business. We can do this. So I was like, no, let's do this. Let me and you do this. And you can have some residual.
Absolutely, yeah.
She's a kindergarten teacher. So, you know, she not. Shouts out to the kindergarten
God
teacher.
Bless her.
So, we did an initial investment of probably about $7,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. My mom was our silent investor. I ain't on front because I didn't have it.
Yeah.
She didn't either. And my mom was like, you know, we're going to do this. Let's do it.
Right.
We're going to do it and do it right because we was going to try to piecemeal it together. But mama was like,
we don't have to anything in this family.
No.
Exactly.
So she was like, we're going to do this with the spirit of excellence. We got everything. And our first event was the Horseman All Alumni Picnic.
Oh, my goodness. And now, where, you know, I got to take a shout out. Where'd you do it? They don't have a gym.
No,
they don't have a
do
field.
Everything in the football,
I know.
the old football.
I know.
Yeah,
I got to take shots. It's just low-hanging fruit.
I didn't say that.
But anyway, go ahead.
But from that, we started getting all kind of bookings.
Wow.
And
so you must have rocked the party.
Page.
Yeah.
And then, again, from the DJ side, you know, to be able to offer that.
Yeah.
And have a one-stop shop, it was just a no-brainer.
Nice. So you must have impressed those 5 people at that Horseman reunion. No, it was just I had to take another shot. I'm sorry. It's just Roosevelt stuff.
That is not me.
I know it ain't her. It's me. I don't even have a school anymore. So I mean, you know, what am I talking about? But anyway, so.
Are you a Hornet?
No, I'm Roosevelt. Our building is standing. It just doesn't. I know.
Sorry.
We just drive by and look at it.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay. I know you're not. But anyway. So we're talking T&T Spinsations, correct? I want to make sure I get that out there. And this has kind of been an amazing journey for you. And so, you know, what is the longest set? This is what I also wanted to ask you, you know, because, you know, listen, things can get out of hand. Parties can continue to go. So far, since you've been out there in your endeavors, what is the longest set you've been?
8 hours.
8 hours of just straight DJing. How do you do that?
You know what? When you like what you're doing, it doesn't seem like it.
When do you have time when you're an adjunct professor? So tell me a little bit about that. I got it. So first of all, what's your subject of expertise?
I teach in the School of Business.
Okay, so you're doing business. Were you a business major?
I am. I have an MBA.
You got an MBA, and you're out here DJing the ones and twos.
And I'm hours away from my PhD. I was almost Dr. Tina Davis.
Wow, congratulations. So what did you do in the private sector before you got over at hooked up with Ivy Tech, or were you always in academia?
No, I was at Edgewater. I was at
that's right. You just told me that. So
I was at outpatient mental health for about 20 years. That allowed me to raise my kids,
right.
go to school, and do the things that I needed to do.
Yeah.
While my husband was making a big dollar.
Well, you weren't doing too bad, I'm sure. And first of all, we want to kind of thank you for that, because that is serious business. We talk about it. It is so great to talk and and constantly have conversation about mental health, because it's real and we need to take care of it. So I just want to give you thanks for the time and effort that you put into that.
Everything happens for a reason, and I really believe that prepared me to be a professor and to be in this DJ business, because I deal with some.
Oh, I know you do.
Yes,
I mean, like I said, the worst are the people that come and do the request.
Yes.
I sit down and I just watch. I'm like, oh my God, this is so annoying. And so
I was in the alcohol and the drug abuse side for a while too.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm able to deal with.
Oh my
I
God.
can see them out.
We're going to talk on another show about that journey that you were on. So let's get back to this and give us the logistics of your business. How can people find you? Do you got a website? Do you still
do have a website.
Online DJing?
I don't have time. I actually tore my studio down.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time. I was forced. I dropped my computer.
Okay.
But I have so many bookings in person. I just really don't have time between being an adjunct professor.
Right.
I just accepted another full-time position.
What's that?
I don't want to say
Okay, don't say.
Sign my contract.
Okay, I got it. Exactly.
I'm a wife. I'm a mom. My daughter just moved back home with a 3-year-old.
Nice.
I'm
you're
still
grandmother?
a fly wife. Yeah, I'm still trying to be fly out here, so I don't really have a lot of time.
Yeah. So what's your DJ name again?
DJ Infrared.
DJ Infrared. I can see that. I can see that exactly. I see exactly where that's going.
So yeah, I'm online, www.djinfrared.net.
Yes.
At official DJ Infrared on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Although I'm not really on TikTok.
Yeah, don't go on TikTok.
But
That's
I
the
do have a
Chinese.
channel.
Yeah.
But I do have a channel.
Yeah.
And then for Spinsations, it is T&T Spinsations on Facebook and T.T Spinsations on Instagram.
Right.
Because they wouldn't allow us to have that and. So.
Yeah. Now, you're a very busy woman, as you just indicated. How far in advance should people who want to retain your services book you?
They need to book at least 6 months in advance.
Wow.
Sometimes I do have some things that are, like some dates.
Yeah.
Like my June dates are all gone, but I just had somebody that asked, well, can I move this date to somewhere else? So I do have June 25th right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So doing something this weekend is out of the question.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow, 6 months. I like that.
That's another nugget.
Yeah.
People should treat you want your party to rock, treat that DJ just like you treat the girl that you pay for those balloons and that dessert table.
Talk about Jay.
Like that. I'm thinking about stuff now. You got my head going.
And they can also catch me every first Saturday at Jay's Breakfast Club for Bites and Beats Brunch. I'll be there on April Fool's Day. It will not be an April Fool's. I will be there from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I think I'm going to do open format R&B.
Oh. So what's open format?
Just whatever I want to play.
Okay. All right. Now
Because I
request.
usually try to make it like a theme show. But
Okay.
Just open.
What kind of music goes best with salmon croquettes?
Ooh,
Exactly.
anything.
Because I mean,
Jay's got 2601 Broadway.
Exactly. Because see, you over here, I'm trying to think what I want to hear. Yeah.
Little Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Anita
Mimosa.
Baker.
Mimosas.
Yeah, you just chill.
Yeah. Well, you know me.
Little Isley Brothers.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. We're making each other hungry. Let's stop.
You need to come with me.
But first, once again, I want to thank you though. This has actually been fun, and as I said, you are over here in the DJ. You got your DJ hat on, but you are a very, very complex woman. I'm serious. I mean, you're close to your doctor. You got your MBA. You're a professor. You got.
That's what black women do. This is who we are.
Yeah.
We put on our capes. We've been putting on our capes for centuries.
Yeah.
And we do phenomenal things. We're not always getting the credit, but my mom, your grandma, we did the same thing.
Yeah.
I watched my grandmother raise everybody.
Right.
Kid on one hip, one over here, one on the leg.
Yeah.
Still cooking for everybody, combing hair, doing whatever needs to get done. This is just who we are as women.
Well, we appreciate you. This has been absolute fun. You want to do something for me before you give a shout out for the Deltas? I want to make the Skiwis jealous. Go ahead. Oh.
In 1913, 22 women, college-educated women, went on to form the best sorority in the world, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, at Howard University, Washington, D.C. HU in the background. That's Steve Witt, my girl, Chelsea Whittington. Please make sure that you book with us. T&T Spinsations, DJ Infrared at 219-281-6051. And I do give that Delta discount. So, Soros, please call me.
All right, I like that. Great way to end. And once again, DJ Infrared, this has been fun. Like I said,
Shouts out to the Gary School. Gary.
You're a product. You're a product. Yes, you are.
87 West Side.
Oh, there you go. Throwing that West Side stuff in here.
I do. I mean, it is the only school.
I know.
Everybody's a cougar now.
Oh, exactly.
Everybody's a cougar.
All right. All right. Anyway, with that being said, I appreciated this very much. We're going to take a break. When we come back, as I said, we're doing a brief